Market crash. Is it going to happen? That seems to be the million-dollar question these days. My name's Josh Parker. Thanks for tuning in. And if this is your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment below. Let me know where you're coming from, where you're watching from. Are you looking to move to the Austin area? Are you looking to invest anywhere in Texas? If so, give me a call. Today's topic is the market going to crash. Been reading a lot of articles here lately that tell one story, tell another story, and then it just goes on and on and on, bounces back and forth on where our market stands. Now, in the U.S., yes, there is a chance for a recession within the housing market. However, I think in Austin, we're going to see prices correct, but we're not going to see a major decline or a bubble burst, as many of you hope for or don't hope for. But let's jump into it. And the latest article I read talked about the new home construction world, and because that is slowing down, the market is going to decline on top of the rising interest rates. And even though interest rates have leveled out to, for the last couple weeks, around that 5% range, people are still worried about what that does to the market, especially after prices rose so far the last couple of years. Now, with the new home construction, there's some factors that we've got to take into account that I think some of these guys take into account a little bit of it, but not like they probably should. And watching the market the way it was last year, I noticed some things, especially coming from the construction world. Now, with demand comes higher prices. We all know that. However, it was sort of a perfect storm the last couple of years because new home builders decided to go to something that they typically never do, and that is go to a bidding system, just like you would find on resale homes. Now, I have an issue with that because it's always been the other way around. It's so that you know exactly what you're getting. You're going to pay that price, and you get to move into your home. Not go bid 30, 40, 50 grand above the asking price and then have to come up with that additional money. But that's how real estate has been for the last 2 years. Now, if you look at that aspect alone, buyers are very weary and concerned and dialed in on builders and what their ulterior motive is. You also had last year a complete shortage of material, which caused home prices to go up. So you have lumber shortages, lumber increase in price because the plants are getting shut down for COVID. You have product that is being shipped from overseas, sitting in ports, sitting in the ocean on cargo ships. And there is a major shortage of just material in general to build the homes. On top of tons and tons of people all of a sudden now working from home, needing that space from home, needing that office, and now they're wanting to move into a new home. So it created this perfect storm. Now, if you look at today and the number of homes that are sitting on the market, especially in the new build world, what are we seeing? We're seeing prices getting slashed 50 to 100K on a lot of these builders, and I'm not surprised by it. They took advantage of the market the way it was, made their money, and now they're having to back off and back down of it, and buyers are aware of that. So while I think that you can look at the new construction world and see somewhat of a forecast on where the economy's going, where the housing market's going, sure, it gives you a little glimpse. However, I don't think that because of the way it has been the last couple of years and what the builders were doing, that it's a very accurate description. Now, if you look at resale homes in the Austin market, we've got about just shy of 4 months of inventory. Now, some of you may say, that's crazy, that's a lot. Well, it is a lot when you look at last year where we were down to half a month of inventory. but we're not quite to a buyer's market where it's 7 or 8 months worth of inventory. So we're sitting right in the middle. We're flush. Not necessarily a buyer's, not necessarily a seller's market, but it's beneficial if you're on either side. Now, if you're selling, something to keep in mind is that we're having a price correction. So pricing, if you were hoping to get those hundreds of offers on your house, isn't necessarily going to happen, and most likely it's not. And your realtor really needs to understand how to price it, because if you look back 6 months ago, we were still getting multiple offers. And so what do those prices show? Well, it's going to show that the value is higher than what the market today says that it needs to be. So if you look back 30 days, you're going to see a big difference. You're going to see those prices flatten out, get a little bit lower, and realistically, that's what needs to happen. So if you're looking to sell your house and you've bought it 4 or 5 years ago, you still have a ton of equity in it. Now, is it going to bring in 100K over? Probably not these days. But you're still in a good spot to collect that equity, go invest it into maybe 2 properties, and still do very well on that original purchase. Now, if you're a buyer, you have the opportunity to get in there, see these prices come down, have sellers offer you rate buydowns, and take advantage of the market that way. While we are sitting in the middle of the 2 markets, all parties can win. You have to understand how to price a home, and you have to understand what the value of the home is on either side. So, back to the market crash. I don't believe that we here in Austin are necessarily going to have a big burst in the bubble or a market crash. We are seeing prices level out. And look, across the nation, yes, some areas will absolutely have somewhat of a decline or a crash, but it's not to the extent of 2008. And so for that reason, I'm going to agree to a certain extent with all these articles, but for our local market here in Austin, it's still steady. We've got a strong job market. People are still moving to Austin. You still need homes. Rent is higher than it's ever been. And so if you're on the fence about buying, give me a shout. Let's talk about your options, because there are a ton of options out there right now for you. If you're looking at selling, reach out as well. Let's talk about what your house's value actually is and not what you were hoping for. But we can get creative, bring in some offers to you, get it sold, get you on to the next investment, next house, upgrade, downsize, whatever it is. I hope this little tidbit helps. I hope y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all soon.